12:40 a.m. WSBC. Welcome back, folks, to another week of the Hooley's Houli Radio Hour. This show is presented to you by Fox's Pizza. There's one in Mokina and there's one in Orland Park, Illinois. Finest thin crust pizza on the south side of Chicago. Go get yourself some today. Sarah, it's cut in squares. I was going to pretend to be Bill and just go, Yeah, that's part of the shtick. Flood Brothers Disposal. You got refuse issues. Everybody has garbage. And I see that the Flood Brothers are gaining steam. They've just signed Elmwood Park as a new contract. They're everywhere. They're the best. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have them in your community, make sure to call your village president and ask why. Flood Brothers Disposal. Madden Funds. I didn't win Lotto this week, but if I did, I would have called Mike or Dan Madden immediately. And they would have put my money to good use and made it grow. And Guinness Irish Stout, Guinness is good for you. My name's Patty Houlihan. I'll be your host all hour. Not joining me this week is my twin brother, Billy, but the closest thing to it is I call her sister. But it's Sarah Ham from Carrick-on-Cross, Ireland. There you go. Adopted sister. Adopted sister. This is her third episode. I'm so happy that you're becoming part of the regular repertoire of the show. Is that the right thing to say? Repertoire? Yeah. Or you're a series regular. There you go. I've gotten a lot of good positive notes, people, from people, Sarah, that are all of a sudden they're fanboying on you. They love the female. Are they fanboying or are they lurking? No, maybe a little bit of. I don't know how you can lurk with I have no audio. Social media, so. Perfect. No lurking. No one will ever be able to find you then, other than this program. People outside the station waiting for me. Bill's out, Clay's out, you're here, and I'm happy. And Bill is he's our producers before the show were like, "Where's Bill at?" Is there? I'm like, I can't say. Disclose that. I don't know. He's gallivanting. What's gallivanting mean? Oh, what would be the equivalent over here? Doing things that he can't talk about. Okay, fair enough. Just out gallivanting. Doing things that you can't talk about. Well, then I'm gallivanting most of my day. I'm gallivanting most of my life. What are you doing? I'm gallivanting, boss. I can't. Just don't worry about me. I'm business development, but I'm galloping too. You talked about Madden Funds. You didn't win the Lotto. No. Have you ever spoken about what you would actually do? Yeah, I have. If you won it? I've mapped it out many times. You have it on a whiteboard at home? Pretty much. I don't know exactly if what I'd want to do would be allowed. But I do know that if I did win, I would be helping Irish culture significantly here in the United States through media and the diaspora of Hibernian media. What do you mean it wouldn't be allowed? How? Well, intrigued. The Hibernian media is not-for-profit. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we would avoid taxes on the billion-dollar win if there was such a thing. And would go to our not-for-profit. It would be claimed in the name of the not-for-profit. And then we would go out. I believe we would be required to produce a certain amount of films under a certain amount of money each year, right? So I would get to be the Candyman to all the Irish artists. I'd be like, you want to do something? It's $5 million. Go make that movie. We'll do it under Hibernian media in the name of Irish diaspora and culture. And I would be able to start a very prominent little global film studio. It would be a lot of fun. So that is what I would do. I would have gone the Paddy Flamingos chain route. That's where I thought you were going to go. Well, Hibernian media could own a couple of Paddy Flamingos, no doubt about it. And houses all over the United States and Europe. That's a very, these are all, I think this is what the rich do pretty much. They set up trusts and things like that. And then everything, no one, I've often, and I'm guilty of this by being kind of an online stalker. You ever meet somebody and you go, well, this has happened to me. I've met somebody who's extremely wealthy. And then you look up where they live. And I'm like, where they live? Oh, and then you can see the neighborhood they live in. Right. But then there's a certain website here in Chicagoland. I don't know if it's national, but you can look up and see what they paid for their home. Right. And then you can see the name of the people on the title of the home. And oftentimes, if you look up the address, everyone I know who's really got buku bucks, the homes are never in their name. They're always in the names of trusts. They're always in the names of corporations. I'm like, wait a second. This guy's business owns his $2 million Winnetka home. That's weird, But it's all done to evade. That was the first neighborhood I thought of, Winnetka. Old Uncle Sam. Evanston. Winnetka, Evanston. Even where I'm not going to say where I live, but there's a lot of prominent people in my neighborhood as well. So that's what I would do. Okay. And then, so it would be, maybe Paddy Flamingos would own my home.
Patty Hunan's.
Yeah, or Patty Hunan's, my Asian restaurant chain. My Irish-American Asian restaurant chain.
Or could you put Johnny Dorito as owner in your house? Is that... we need to trust. Right, Mike?
I think that Hibernian Media could absolutely establish the Johnny Dorito Talent Agency, without a doubt, and put that to work.
God, I really hope you win now.
We joke, on Seinfeld, Costanza's always talking about Vandalay Industries, right? That's his go-to. And I actually have a friend who named his company Vandalay Industries. Great icebreaker.
Very smart.
Everybody's like, "What do you do?" He's like, "I work for Vandalay Industries." Like, "Oh, what is it?" And he's like, "It's essentially a venture capital firm, that owns a bunch of restaurants and other entertainment venues."
That's smart, though. It
is smart because it registered with everybody right away. And it's an icebreaker and a joke, and it works. But nothing like that for Hibernian Media. People go, "What? What's that?" People don't know what Hibernians are.
They don't.
That's one thing I learned. You're trying to pitch things in wherever, maybe on the West Coast, and people are like,
"What is Hibernian?"
What is Hibernian?
Yeah.
Look, it means Ireland. It's Hibernia, But people do not understand that. Yes, Mike has a note. Plus, it used to be called Hibernian Transmedia. And the trans was dropped. We had to drop. And
for obvious reasons.
That's not to offend my trans people that listen to the program.
The devout trans following that you have.
Yeah, they're out there. But we decided in our best interest to just drop that because it was confusing to people.
Right. We were just getting inquiries that had nothing to do with Irish media.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Anyway.
Let's not go there.
That's what I would do if I won the lotto. It's a fantasy. Maybe, and you know what else I would do? I'd go and get this bald spot on my head figured out. Get that figured out. Get my tooth fixed that I want to get fixed. Too bad there's not like something. Well, there is, I guess. I was going to go there, but there is.
You'd still shop at Goodwill, though.
Can you imagine if I say "Can you imagine" on this program a lot? I've been listening to past episodes. Holy moly! Everything. Can you imagine? I gotta stop it. But for the sake of this,
can you imagine?
Can you imagine? Imagine now. Imagine music. If there was a service that could make you look really ripped without having to work out, it was just like a chamber that you walked into, or something like that. It's like $10,000.
The ecto chamber.
It's an ecto chamber. Yeah. It's like some sort of.
Write that down, Mike. Write that down.
Yeah, that's an idea. The ecto chamber. There's got to be some sort of insane energy harnessed to be able to do it. But apparently to the government, there's all these kinds of things flying in the sky that we don't know anything about. So maybe one of them can build an ecto chamber for me. That went right over everybody's head, didn't it?
I was like, what the heck are you talking about?
Talking about aliens.
Did you watch the Met Gala? Not that I watch it, but...
No, I didn't watch it, but I've of course see the pictures of all the celebrities in their outrageous outfits.
There was one celebrity, I think her name's, oh God, I'm going to forget it now. Is it Anya Taylor something?
All right.
I swear what she was wearing, the first thing, actually, Mike, would you be able to get it up and just show Patty? Because I want to see what his first reaction would be. Instantly.
What's her name? Anya Taylor-Joy?
She was in that thing about the chess. Huge eyes. She's stunning. She was in that.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
The something Gambit. What was it called? Yeah.
Queen's Gambit.
Oh, the Queen's Gambit. Thank you, Mike. I missed that one too. I did watch Ernest Goes to Camp though recently. But I don't think anybody from the Ernest movies were at the Met Gala.
Just as soon as I saw it, I just thought of Chicago.
Why? Why would you think of Chicago when you saw her?
In the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
What we're expecting.
Oh, because of what? What's going on in 2 weeks here in Chicago?
Well, I mean, within the next... Wasn't it supposed to be last... Well, I don't want to give it away now.
I'm completely oblivious.
Yeah, it's going to be just dead air until we wait for Mike.
No, there she is. What? She's got a silver outfit on. She looks like a statue.
That wasn't this year's. Anyway, she was covered herself in a net.
Okay.
And I swear she looked like one of those nets that
like
they
the
have
trees,
the cicadas.
The cicada trees?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's exactly what she looked like.
So are they going up? So they're everywhere, obviously, because I was seeing them in my neighborhood.
They're at the Met Gala now.
Ah, cicada dress.
Beautiful.
I wonder if you could make a dress out of dead cicadas.
Oh my gosh.
That's some weird stuff right there.
Weird stuff right there.
Gwyneth Paltrow's company would be behind that.
God. What's her company called?
Goop. Yeah. She's got dead cicada dresses for $1,000.
Cicada scent.
Yeah.
She'd love that.
Yeah.
No, I can't find it. I swear. That's exactly what it looked like.
Well, listeners, if you want to go Google something later, you're more than welcome to do it. What's her name?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. What's her? Oh, the Queen's Gambit. She's British? Is she a British actress?
Yeah, is she maybe like
Sort
South
of.
African
She
or
pretends
something?
to be British. She pretends to be a British actress. Oh, South African?
Possibly. She's
right.
something.
She's something. Hey, Anya Taylor-Joy, what are you? Something?
You're something.
You're something, aren't you?
You're something else, you.
I don't know who any of the celebrities are anymore.
No, me neither.
I can't keep up. And because Hollywood seldomly manufactures any movie stars anymore.
Anyone with talent.
Well, we're not going there.
No,
because-
I'm absolutely going there. It's far too easy.
To get famous?
Yes, far too easy these days. Do you remember when it was almost like back when like America's Got Talent came on? People were angry about, well, that person doesn't have talent.
Yeah,
and
they
now
thought
they're
it was
famous.
fake. They thought it was like a
yeah.
fake manufactured celebrity, which it kind of was.
And now it's just-
a lot of musicians hated it. My father-in-law, who had record deals with Atlantic and people like that, he thought those shows were the worst.
Right.
He was like, no, that's not how it happens. It shouldn't be like that. They're
gotta
all
put in the work.
hacks. Yeah, and I was like, it's like, no, you got to go out and tour and play the clubs and get noticed that way and pay your dues. You can't just work at Walmart and show up on a reality TV show and get a deal out of nowhere.
You have to be humbled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They say that about comedians as well, right? You have to do the really awful shows.
I mean, you got to bomb so many times
Yeah.
before it. I think that's true with anything though. Even with like podcasting or like it's about just getting reps in. Like the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And very seldomly do you see a guy just jump into stand-up comedy who just like crushes it and gets famous like year 2 or 3.
It's happening now, though.
Unless
with
you're like
TikTok and
unless
stuff.
you're like Matt Rife
I
or
was
somebody
just
like
about
that.
to say Matt Rife, but he's good though.
But he's all right. But he's been around. I think he's probably been around 6 or 7 years at this point.
Oh, really?
So it's not quite the 10-year point. But so many comics that I used to talk to would always say, "Oh, it's 10 years. Nobody gets anywhere. You just count on it being hard for 10 years until you've at least." But and I think it's shorter than that now due to social media. You're right. Like now we have all the exposure of everybody on these reels and doing their podcasts, and every comedian has to have a podcast now and has to have a social media manager. It's nuts. So many. I see a lot of stand-ups now, and I'm not a stand-up. I tried my hand on it. Maybe I'd go back at some point. Did it for like 2 years, sporadically.
Right.
And I didn't have the grind to do it you got to do it every night. You got to go out every night. And I had young kids at home, and I was like, and I was broke already, and I was like, it's not gonna work, Like I gotta go bartend and do other things to just put food on the table. But what I was getting at is that a lot of the comics that I see, and I befriended a lot over the years, and I see them on Facebook, and many of them have complained that there's just too much work involved now you can't just be a stand-up anymore. Now you got to like learn how to cut and edit and put all your own content out and all that. And a lot of the seasoned stage performers that may not be famous, right? But they might have gotten a little older. They're not happy about the situation really, because they're like, I put all this work in, and now I got to go back and now I got to learn Instagram algorithms and TikTok algorithms and all these stuff. Now, if you want to hire an agency to do that, which a lot of these comedians do, they're young, they have agents they have management companies that are putting them in touch with social media agencies that are making these things for them, right? But if you're an independent comic and you're trying to get out there and just get your word out there or get your show out there, even like us, right? It takes some time, some real commitment to sit down and start cutting those clips and doing all that stuff.
You said
together.
10 years. We're at 10 years now, right?
We are at 10 years, so maybe
It's going to happen.
I can feel the table rumbling. It's rumbling. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe if we're lucky enough, we can get that Anya on the show at some point.
I can provide the net.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
And then I'll have her kiss my lotto tickets, and we'll see what happens.
Where are these cicadas anyway?
They're going to be outside everyone's home, but you know where they might not be?
Where they definitely will not be.
They won't be, because they're going to put nets over the whole restaurant. Fox's Pizza in Mokina and Orland Park. This show is presented by more Hooley's Houli when we return.
Fox's is the best pizza in Chicago, and everybody knows that. For 3 generations, Fox has been cooking up the most delicious za known to man. And if you want to have some, you got to go south to Orland Park, where Fox's started in 1973, over 55 years ago at 143rd Street and Ravinia Avenue. And also south to Mokina, where Fox's started in 2006, 187th Street, just west of Wolf Road. Go south to Fox's. And guess what? Both locations offer the greatest pizza in the history of the world, but also live music every Friday and Saturday at both Orland Park and Mokina at no extra charge. Go south to Fox's. Your mouth will thank you, and your ears and eyes will thank you too. You gotta love that Fox's pizza. Go south to Fox's in Orland Park and Mokina. Pick up or delivery. You can't beat Fox's pizza, so go south.
Hey listeners, I know we don't talk about finance much on this show, outside maybe the amazing Bitcoin the Musical, which we currently have in development. But I do want to take a moment and tell you about two brothers who make this show possible and why you should consider having an honest conversation with them about the future of your finances. Mike and Dan Madden are the brains behind Madden Funds. They've been lifelong friends to Bill Clay and me, and we entrust the Maddens with our money and the precious donations of our listeners so we don't let outrageous ideas get the best of us. And you should too. Do yourself a favor and reach out to Dan or Mike Madden today to book a consultation on the future of your finances. If you have questions about your financial future or current situation, give them a call. The number is 708-848-3200. Again, that number is 708-848-3200. Or you can visit their website, Madden Funds, at www.maddenfunds.com. Again, www.maddenfunds.com.
With a history going all the way back to 1896, the International Union of Operating Engineers has continued to protect workers and their families with loyalty and brotherhood. Local 150 has continued to thrive through economic booms and busts with careful training and aggressive organizing. Under the leadership of President and Business Manager Jim Sweeney, Local 150 has implemented programs and action plans to create work, protect benefits, and keep members working. And they've been helping the Irish American community of Chicagoland for just as long. The Hibernian Radio Show is proud to be associated with Jim Sweeney and Local 150, and we salute the continuing efforts of the International Union of Operating Engineers and their support of Irish and Irish American families now and in the future. Thanks to Local 150.
Welcome back to the Hooley's Hooley.
Beautiful.
Sarah Hand is with me tonight. It's just me and Sarah. It's the Patty and Sarah show, first one ever. And I'm feeling a little awkward about it, I have to be honest.
Why?
I don't know. I've been feeling jumpy all day.
You're used to having your twin next to you, that's why.
I think that's what it is. I'm having separation anxiety.
Can you feel what Bill is feeling right now?
He's probably like 7 or 8 White Claws or High Noons deep. And he's probably prancing around some bar room right now talking about whiskey or something.
Exactly, gallivanting.
He's
That's
he's Billy the Gallivanter. That's a good name.
Yeah,
that's a good
character.
Social character, Billy the Gallivanter. Hyphen ter.
I feel like he would want that to be in a Steven Seagal movie. I'm just going to speak for Billy right now.
Sure he would.
He'd stick that in there.
He'd stick him in a Steven Seagal movie? Yeah, Billy. Oh, anybody seen Billy Gallivanter? You know, he prances around here, he talks about whiskey. I'm looking for him. Tell him I called. Sarah, craziest thing happened to me this week. Well, it's crazy. It's strangers follows me, talk about it all the time. You know that I go on the Bumble, right?
You're a bumbler.
I'm not a bumbler because I haven't acted on any of the Bumble. So maybe that makes me a Bumble lurker. A Bumble lurker.
Bumblurker. No, that sounds... No, that's not.
I don't lurk around bums, but I'm a Bumble lurker.
Bumbler. Just stay with that.
Yeah, like, but like, I guess now they have a feature on Bumble, #Bumble. Ring the bell, Mike. Maybe they'll send a check.
I thought you were going to say chick.
Or both.
A chick with a check.
Hey, Bumble, send me a check and a check for this podcast and all its views. No, they have a new feature where they now allow the men to break the ice. If you match. You got to match first, so she's got to match with you. But then, once it says, it's a match, you're now allowed to you used to have to wait.
Okay.
You know? I think a lot of the girls would just chicken out. They'd match with a guy and they'd be like, no, I'm not going to say anything. Meanwhile, there's a guy in there going, oh, say hello to me, please. Please say hello to me. But now the guys can do it. Anyway, I'm going through it, checking out the new features. And I'm lurking, swiping, reading, lurking, swiping, reading the profiles, gallivanting in my mind, doing all these crazy things. And I come across a profile, and it's the blow pop lady, the blow pop mom from last week's episode that I discussed. And look at him, Mike just goes, wow.
He like sat up and everything.
He did. No, it wasn't blow pop mom, but it was, and this is a thing that women on Bumble sometimes do this. I don't know why they do it, but they will pose with a more attractive friend. And I'm not saying Bumble blow pop mom is attractive to everybody, right? I mean, she's got that kind of
Porn star
She's
look.
got that porny look to her, right? So any dirty man on the other end of that Bumble is gonna, you just get startled by it. And he goes, "Wow, porny? Who's this? Where's she live? What? Look at her, that damn barbed wire tattoo and the big old canes. Oh my goodness, Scientology swept left. No thank you." But you get it.
Yeah.
So I'm stopped. I go, oh, it's Blow Pop Mom. It's the Blow Pop Mom from the cheerleading thing that I attended.
Oh my God.
And it's not. And then I read the profile and I realize, and I scroll down and I see more pictures. It's a friend of Blow Pop Mom's. It's not even Blow Pop Mom. She like used Blow Pop Mom as, you know,
To suck you in.
to suck you in. No,
It worked.
I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but to lure you in.
Sorry, lure you in.
Yeah. And for a second, I'm like, and Mike has a note. She's a wing woman instead of a wing man. A wing
yeah,
woman.
yeah. To lure a lurker.
Yes. How do I lure a lurker?
That sounds too much like to catch a predator, though.
You need a wing woman. A wing woman.
So anyway, did you contact her?
First thing I did was I took a screenshot and I sent it to you and to my brother.
The whole family involved.
Right. And then I lit a cigarette and I paced around the living room and thought about it. And I was like, what do I say? Remember me from cheerleading? Do you remember the guy with the beard from cheerleading?
Bring up the fart
You think
thing.
your daughter's going to make the team? Still want to go up to Shoeless Joe's for a cocktail?
Did you fart?
Right. Let me ask you an honest question. You didn't fart in that room, did you? Was that real? Was that a real fart that I heard when we were in the cheerleading talk? Anyway. And now people have to go back to last week to listen to what the hell I'm talking about to understand, but that's okay. Anyway, no. I made the ultimate decision, no. But somehow I feel like there's something in the universe now drawing me to Blow Pop Mom. Like, I know that at some point now, I'm going to have some kind of altercation. Like something's going to, it's like, not an altercation, but it is kind of like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where I'm like something,
Yes.
that's only act 2.
Right.
Act 3 is going to happen soon.
Yeah.
And I don't know when.
Oh my gosh.
But I hope our listeners get excited for it because
excited.
maybe I invite her on the program and be like, hey, listen, I have this program. Do you want to come on and be Blow Pop Mom?
She'd be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh, well, that's probably right. Hey, I got a podcast. And we had a couple episodes where we talked about your kind of porny appearance and your affinity for blow pops and your proclivity to flatulence.
Is this what it said on our Bumble profile?
You think you want to come by and chat with me and my brother and our friend Sarah for an hour? I'll take you to Shula's shows afterwards.
And Fox's Pizza.
Ring the bell for... Oh, yeah. Well, I'll take you to Fox's. Ring the bell
First,
for
yeah,
Fox's. Take you to Fox's, and then I'll take you over to Joe's because it's probably closer to
That
your
is
house.
just wild. So then that means that she matched with you?
Yeah. No. No, this was when I was cruising, I guess they would say, like when I was swiping, you know? And it was like, you know, because you get jarred by the looks of Blow Pop Mom. All of a sudden my hand just paused, and I was like, I know her. Oh, my God. Oh, it's not her. It's her friend. Nuts.
Jesus. That is
Anyway.
wild, though.
Mike has a note. He goes, no doubt it's her. I go, Mike, there's absolutely zero in my mind. Zero doubt in my mind. And
You did a good job of describing her last week, because as soon as I saw the picture,
oh,
even
yeah.
before I read what you text, I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's her.
Now I get
It's
it.
the Blink-182 lady.
Yeah. Now you get it. Now
It's
you get
Janine.
it. It's Janine. What if it really was Janine?
It's Jenny. Oh my gosh.
That'd be even weirder. She'd be like, you found me out. I tried to retire. I got a kid in middle school now. Shut up about it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of weird to know that there's adult film stars lurking in the shadows of suburbia.
Well, they have families too.
They got to retire somewhere.
That's rough.
That's a weird real estate agent thing to say, isn't it?
They've got to retire somewhere.
You'll never guess this, and it's kind of a weird stat about the neighborhood, and maybe your wife should cover her ears, but there's a lot of retired adult film actors that live in the community. Retired. But they are excellent citizens, and they have children, and they shop at the White Hen just like you and me. Just thought you'd want to know. I can have the paperwork done in half an hour. Just don't tell your wife what I said. She won't like it, or maybe she will.
Well, if there's male adult porn stars, then yeah.
Yeah.
There's
No,
there's like two really.
I
isn't
think
there?
most of the male adult porn stars are gay dudes, though.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a fact right there. You can
You can bring that to the bank.
yeah. On the next episode of Fact Checkers. What percentage of adult film actors are homosexual? Call us with the answer after this. The poll numbers are in.
I have so many questions. So many questions. I'm not going to ask them though.
Don't.
It's not that kind of podcast, guys.
Do they make these kinds of jokes in Carrickmacross, Ireland?
No.
They don't?
No, we're very good Catholic people.
Well, I'm a good Catholic guy. I just have a warped mind.
Okay, we just don't vocalize it then. Should I say that?
Yeah. I say that to the priest all the time. I go, Father, forgive me. I have a warped mind. Which one of the apostles had a warped mind? You know? They got an answer for you. St. Augustine. I go right there. I go, okay. So am I supposed to pray to him next time I see Blow Pop Mom? Dear St. Augustine, please, get her off my mind. I can't get her off my mind. She's driving me nuts.
There's no chance she's ever going to hear this, right?
No.
That'd be awkward.
Well, maybe she would. You never know. You never do know.
I'm going to find out her name and put it in the synopsis.
Oh, well, that would be... Hashtag it.
Hashtag it, yes.
Why is this show hashtagging me? Blow pops, they're talking about me. That's my thing. We have to... Oh, this is the point of the program where we have to leave Radioland already.
So sorry, radio listeners.
Well, I apologize if I offended anybody.
Everybody.
But if you're having fun, you can join us over in podcast land if you go to hibernianradio.org, or you search for Hooley's Hooley Show on iTunes or on YouTube. We'll see you on the other side right after this. Yeah! Yeah!
Almost lost your thing.
Hooley's Hooley, welcome
Producer
back.
Mike head banging like
Yeah.
mad.
Oh, we love it. It's our thing now. Welcome back to the show. Second round of the program, Hooley's Hooley. We're in podcast land. I'm with Sarah Hand. And we've been talking all about the strangeness that follows me and my weird Bumble experience. Yeah. Anyway, I did not swipe right. I swiped left because it wasn't really her. It was her friend using Blow Pop Mom as a prop. So, no. Anyway.
End of that story.
That's the end of that story. Yeah.
Yes.
On a higher note, my daughter kicking butt in track, going downstate, qualified as a freshman, one of the only freshmen going downstate.
Good on her.
For her event. So had a proud dad moment this week when she called me and told me, like, they have the meet in the middle of the day. I was like, what? I'm working. Like, why is the meet at 2:00 on a, Monday? But she was delighted, and I'm really happy for her. So we'll probably be making a visit downstate. That'll be interesting fodder for the program.
Can we get the bell for sure?
Sure, yeah, for Charlotte. Boom, my daughter Charlotte.
Go on, sure.
Track star in the making.
Track star.
She wants to go to UCLA. That's her dream school. I'm like, what?
With everything that's going on right now?
I don't know. Who knows? I don't even consider that anymore. Just go, okay, don't want to squash your dream. I'm not going to tell you where you can and can't go. Were you in high school, like, did you tell your parents, like, oh, I want to go to the States? Did you know that you wanted to come over here?
Since I was 12.
Since you were 12, you knew? What was it that, like triggered it?
There's this place that you go. This sounds like a magical place. There's this place that you go, or that you can go during the summer for 3 weeks in Ireland called the Gaeltacht.
All right.
And you go, it's kind of for people who can't speak Irish or they want to, like, better their Irish. But because we were Irish, like, speaking family, you just go for the crack, like, to have fun.
Right.
And you'd be put up in a house. It'd just be like someone like you who has a family, and then you'd take in like 10 to 15 girls or 10 to 15 boys, and you'd have like a couple of rooms set up for them, and you'd have to cook for them, and they'd live with you for 3 weeks. They go off during the day to go to school, and it's usually in a Gaeltacht, which is a place where Irish is spoken in Ireland, so it's usually the west or the south of the country.
Okay.
And there was one weekend, I think it was the first or second weekend, that family was allowed to come see you. Otherwise, weren't allowed to see you. You were gone for the 3 weeks.
Okay.
And everyone was crying. I miss my mom. I miss my dad.
Right.
My parents arrived, and I was like, I told you not to come here.
Yeah.
I told you not. 3 weeks is all I want.
Alone.
Even my dad was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Your mom wanted to see you. And I'm like, this is so unfair. I just wanted to get away.
Yeah.
And it was at that moment that I knew, I'm like, I need to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just like being on your own.
Very independent.
Very good for you.
Yeah.
I was always chicken about doing that stuff. I think that is why I stayed close to home. I had many opportunities to go and move to different cities to pursue my dreams. And I was too chicken a lot of the time. I was like, nah, I'm staying close. Like, I got to stay close. There's more opportunity here. If something happened, I always gave myself an excuse, not to make the leap. But that is a huge leap, not only to just like leave your surroundings and your people of where you grew up, but like also to come overseas. Like, so like, at first were you like, oh, well, I'm just not going to live near mom and dad in Ireland? Or was it like right away you were like, no, I'm going to the States?
I didn't know if it was going to be the States. It could have been Australia or Canada. I just knew I was leaving Ireland.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did
Great place, but
Yeah.
it's different when you grow up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you mentioned Irish speaking. A lot of people of our listeners don't even know that there's an actual language outside of English.
Gaelga.
Do you ever use it? Do you still speak it at home when you go home?
Oh, yeah. My brother he'd be the most, like, the person who practices it the most. We don't anymore.
Right.
Actually, not like, I know that's like a fun fact, not to like be morbid or anything, but my mom has brain degenerative disease. And so it's very hard for her to put like sentences together. And sometimes you'll be chatting to her in English and she's off in a different world. If you speak Irish to her,
she knows right away.
straight away. And can answer in full sentences. I was like, that's really interesting that her part of the brain that works. But anyway,
Was Irish your mother's first language instead of English, or do you kind of learn both at the same time? Like, how does that work?
I don't really understand, because it's not like we're from an area that's specifically Irish speaking. I think our granny was just like, no, absolutely going to learn Irish, and that was it. We spoke Irish for the first, I don't know how many years. I went to an all Irish speaking school.
Okay.
Yeah, so we even did English lessons in Irish.
In Irish.
So confusing.
Yeah.
You got in trouble if you spoke English. You'd be able to get in the bold.
How much Irish speaking programming is there on the telly in Ireland? Like, is there a lot?
Well, there's TG Cahir, TG4, which is a channel that's only based for Irish.
Irish speaking?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have our own weather, our own news, our own soap opera called Russ na Ruin.
What's it called?
Russ na Ruin.
Russ in the Ruin?
Russ
Yes.
na
Oh, Russ na.
Ruin.
Russ na Ruin.
Yeah.
Means.
Don't put me on the spot there. I actually have never thought about what it means, Russ na Ruin.
Okay.
ROSNARUN. Yeah, it was just, I don't understand why. I think about it now. Like, my granny ran a preschool, all Irish speaking. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine like a bunch of 3-4-year-olds going around? They can barely speak anyway.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
She was great though.
Now, did you know that you want, like, so you were like, okay, when was the first opportunity to come over here to the States, and when did you make that decision for yourself where it was like, I think I'm picking Chicago?
So Chicago, it was never. I met my now husband in the end of my first year in college.
Oh yeah, but you guys lived in San Diego.
No.
No?
We met in Dublin. I was friends with his sister for a full year. Didn't even know she had a brother.
Okay.
Until we went to a house party at her place, and I was like, who is that?
Right.
Holy jamoli.
Yeah.
And then, 2 or 3 years later, I was finishing my university degree, and he had come back to Chicago, and I was like, okay, I'll come to the States, but I'm going to go to San Diego by myself first.
Okay.
Because I don't need you.
Right. And then you got lonely and bored, and you were like, all right,
And I was like,
I'll
okay,
meet
I
you.
need you.
Yeah. So you came here to Chicago.
Yeah. And then like I said, I think like 2 episodes ago, got in contact with your dad, and
you've been working steady in production the entire
I met
time.
Bill Wooten the same night that I met your dad.
Bill Wooten's one of our producers off camera here right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
He's been with the Hibernian Media brand for a long time.
He was there for my first interaction with your father. And I actually think you might have been like, it's okay. I'm so sorry. It's okay.
Apologizing on
okay.
behalf of my dad? That sounds about right.
But it's fine. I mean, your dad's Irish. He's not.
Yeah.
He's more Irish than American.
I would say so in many ways. And you decided you chose. Now you have a sister who also works in production, and so obviously there's something in the blood there.
She does a lot of. Now she would do a lot of Irish
Shows.
production.
Now is she your older sister?
Yes, I'm the baby.
Okay, and was she already involved in creative arts and film production like when you were a kid?
That's a good question. No. She was a teacher,
Okay, yeah.
and then she was like, I don't want to do this, and then left after maybe 6-7 years. I can't. Don't quote me on that. I
Left
don't know how long
teaching.
it was.
She left teaching.
And then she got into film production. And then I had never planned on being in film production. I was going to be a musician and I was going to sing. That's what I did for college. And then I happened to get in with your dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is actually.
Yeah, you interned with us, but then you got into the film bit. Like now you're working on film sets all over the place.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Do people to ask you about being from Ireland all the time whenever you show up on these American film sets?
The one thing I will say is, I feel like I'm very negative sometimes on the show, but I will say that a lot of the time, particularly men of a certain age,
Yes.
will be like, oh, your accent.
Oh yeah, dirty old man.
And that's how it's said.
Dirty old man.
And when I get the ladies, they're like, oh, your accent's so cute. And then the man will be like, oh, your accent.
Do you find that there's a lot of dirty old Irish baby boomer Americans that are like, look at her with that Irish accent, I love her.
And her translucent skin.
Yeah. Old Irish guy creepers.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I
Full
imagine.
creepers. Not even lurkers or stuff, just full creepers.
Oh man.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
I believe it.
Yeah.
And even that's on film sets. People are like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Well, there's not well, it's getting better now. I'm sure you can see it too. But
Yeah.
at the start, though, when I started 10 years ago, there wasn't a lot of women anyway.
No.
I'm usually the only woman, unless you have a hair and makeup person or.
That was true 15 years ago, and it has evolved quite a bit for the good.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I didn't like all those high testosterone.
Yeah, you needed to equal each other out.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think it's the same with schools. I think there's something to be said for mixed schools.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. You mean co-ed schools?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got
We
my
balance each other out
I think-
big time.
maybe after the hormones are kind of done raging, though, for daddy's sake. Only because I have a daughter in a single-sex school right now, and I'm like, and that's one of the reasons I kind of sent her there. I was like,
Really?
I don't want
maybe.
you around too many boys yet.
Yeah, but you have to remember that I only have the Irish experience, where your school is, there's like 100 people in your whole year, so everyone knows you, right?
Yeah, for sure. Fair enough.
Yeah, I could have named everybody in my year in school. There were 12 people in my class in elementary school.
What? That's it?
Mm-hmm.
What about high school?
About 80 something.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty small.
Yeah.
And that dwindles over 4 years and goes down to like 60.
Right. People start dropping out or
Get kicked out,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Well, how do you like being here now? You've been here quite a long time.
10 years next month.
At what point do you figure you think you're going to start to feel more like an American and less?
Never.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just out with a bunch of people that are visiting from Ireland, and one of the fellas from Cork, really thick Cork accent.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You haven't lost your accent, good woman."
He's happy about it.
Yeah, he was like, "That's great."
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll go for citizenship in the next year or two, but
Here?
Yeah, you can get dual citizenship with Ireland, so you can have both
Oh,
passports.
so you have double passports, right? So
Irish is one of the most valuable passports in the world right now, along with Japan and some other place.
Really? Why is
Germany?
Why is that?
I don't know. Because people like us.
Maybe.
Like during COVID,
Sure.
we didn't need to have anything filled out or anything like that to get into countries.
Is it just, because maybe it's just easier to get in and hang out for a while?
Yeah, like they don't need as many visas and stuff.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
We're very trustworthy people.
Yeah.
Speaking of, when we were coming in today and I was telling you,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I need you to answer this for me. So, got a house 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Made it my business to, like, bring some homemade Irish soda bread. And went out and bought some Irish chocolates. And I went to the 3 houses next to our house.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Introduced, hi, we're new neighbours, whatever.
Right. Did the whole song and dance of that.
Yeah. Went out for lunch with one of them. One of the neighbours. She's great.
Did she invite you out to lunch, or did you say, hey, you want to come out to lunch?
No, went over with the stuff and she said we should go for lunch someday, and we did.
Oh, nice.
People across the way just had a baby, chatting to them, if you need anything, whatever.
Sure.
Thank you so much for the soda bread, you're very nice. Mm-hmm. Left a note with my number on it.
Yes.
So that's how they contact me. The people on the other side of us left it there. Nothing.
Never said a word to you?
Never said a word. And it's not a case of you're driving by and you're like, hi, don't even wave back.
Really?
Isn't that strange?
It is kind of strange. Just an angry, like, I don't want to know you neighbor.
Very strange. But it's not like they're bad people, because we know they're good people, because the older gentleman came over and, like, has, what do you call those things? Like the snow plower?
Yeah, snowblower.
A snowblower. And came over and did our driveway last Christmas without us asking.
But he's the guy who never says hello to you?
Yeah.
So I had a neighbor similar to that when I lived in these townhomes that were like row houses, and you're sandwiched into, like, so I always felt like like there's no way you're not going to know your neighbors.
Yeah.
Right. But I knew everybody in my row, and then the family who was right next to me, right? They were Asian, and they would speak their native language to each other. And they kind of pretended like they just didn't understand English, but they did.
Right.
But, like, they would never make the effort to, like, and I'd be like, and they'd be like, just look at me and just walk in their house. And then I was like,
It's awkward.
they're dealing drugs or something in there.
It's a meth house.
Yeah, there's a card game in that basement. Something's going on. But they would also do nice things for me, right? Like, like my car went dead one day. And obviously the guy must have seen me through the window. And I went back into my house, and then when I came out, he had jumper cables on my hood. Like, he just left them there. I didn't ask him for them. He just left them there. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, what? And then I saw him, like, and he just gave me like a nod, like, that's from me. And I was like, okay, thanks. And then no acknowledgement of it ever again.
Right.
It's weird.
I can't wrap my head around it, because in Ireland we're just, like, so in each other's faces about that, like, overly kind about things.
Yeah.
So much so that it's kind of aggressive.
Right.
It's almost like I think it is a Seinfeld episode where he gets tickets to some game and he doesn't call twice to thank him, because he only calls him once.
Yes.
He's like, well, I didn't think you wanted the tickets.
Right.
He's like, but I thanked you already, right? That's kind of how it is. I just can't get over that it takes 30 seconds to just text someone going, hey, I got what you said. Thanks so much. Not even.
Maybe he's a guardian angel or something weird,
God.
I always think about stuff like that. I go, as a spiritual person, I go, can you imagine going to heaven someday? Just imagine. Can you imagine if you were good enough to go to heaven like me? Anyway, if you were always, are we have to go to commercial, Mike? Oh, we got to go to a commercial. I'll tell you all about my fantasy after commercial break. More Hooley's Hooley after this. Flood Brothers Disposal was started over 90 years ago by their grandfather. With more than 20 family members still involved with the day-to-day operations, the Floods are service-oriented and believe that the right way is the only way to do something. Flood Brothers is price competitive and still offers the personal touch in an industry-trending corporate. For client-centric service without all the corporate garbage, call Flood Brothers today for a quote on your solid waste, recycling, and yard waste collection services. Call Bob Flood today at 630-261-0400 or go online at floodbrothersdisposal.com.
Fox Fox's is the best pizza in Chicago, and everybody knows that. For 3 generations, Fox has been cooking up the most delicious za known to man. And if you want to have some, you got to go south to Orland Park, where Fox's started in 1973, over 55 years ago, at 143rd Street and Ravinia Avenue. And also south to Mokina, where Fox's started in 2006, 187th Street, just west of Wolf Road. Go south to Fox's. And guess what? Both locations offer the greatest pizza in the history of the world, but also live music every Friday and Saturday at both Orland Park and Mokina at no extra charge. Go south to Fox's. Your mouth will thank you, and your ears and eyes will thank you too. You gotta love that Fox's pizza. Go south to Fox's in Orland Park and Mokina. Pick up or delivery. You can't beat Fox's pizza, so go south.
Hey listeners, I know we don't talk about finance much on this show, outside maybe the amazing Bitcoin the Musical, which we currently have in development. But I do want to take a moment and tell you about 2 brothers who make this show possible and why you should consider having an honest conversation with them about the future of your finances. Mike and Dan Madden are the brains behind Madden Funds. They've been lifelong friends to Bill Clay and me, and we entrust the Maddens with our money and the precious donations of our listeners so we don't let outrageous ideas get the best of us. And you should too. Do yourself a favor and reach out to Dan or Mike Madden today to book a consultation on the future of your finances. If you have questions about your financial future or current situation, give them a call. The number is 708-848-3200. Again, that number is 708-848-3200, or you can visit their website, Madden Funds, at www.maddenfunds.com. Again, www.maddenfunds.com. And we're back, Hooley's Hooley. Final quarter of the program. Oh, before the break, I was going to share a fantasy. And I think now it's the appropriate time to do it.
One of many.
This is one of the fantasies where I go to heaven. And I get to the gates, and that my Asian neighbor was really Jesus.
Asian Jesus.
It could be. You never know. Could be anything, you know. Do you think people identify more with their faith if Jesus was depicted as their race? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you there's this argument's made all the time, by the African American community, like Jesus was a black guy. Maybe he could have been, right? But he's typically depicted as Aramaic or a white dude.
White dude, yeah.
Right, which isn't really white, but
Yeah.
I've always wondered that,
Do Asians who believe in Jesus see him as
Asian Jesus?
As Asian Jesus.
Well, historically, it's not thought of that he was Asian, but I suppose that because the spirit of Jesus, this is getting real deep now, kids, he could appear to people, Imagine if you were a priest and you had a vision and Jesus showed up and he was an Asian guy and he's like, I'm Jesus. And you're like, you're Asian. It's like, I'm Asian for you.
That sounds like something. I'm Asian for you.
Right. Did y'all ever hear the parable about the Asian priest who had a vision of Jesus and Jesus was Asian for him? Well, let me tell you.
Like every statue of Mary in Ireland, she's as white as I am.
Yeah, right.
There's no way she was, lads.
No, she probably had olive skin of some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just about your upbringing.
It is. I think so, But I think it probably has to be harder for people who aren't white to identify with Jesus sometimes, because there is that barrier,
yeah,
for them that some white people don't have, I guess. I don't know. It's just I was trying to think about it if I was in the other side, if the shoe was on the other foot, would I care? I wouldn't. I don't think I would, but I'm not in that situation, so I don't really know. But that's where my fantasy comes from, of where maybe my neighbor could be, whatever. You get it.
Well, I wouldn't use the word fantasy, but I was thinking about this the other day, right?
Yeah, I do throw the word fantasy around a lot.
Yeah, because I thought that was going to go in a very different
You got
word.
any hopes or dreams or fantasies you want to share?
But if once it does happen, and if everything is as they say it is, and you head up there and you can find out things from the past,
yeah.
What would you want to find out? I would want to find out what happened to Marilyn Monroe.
She got killed by the outfit, by the Chicago outfit, I think.
You'd find out for sure.
Yeah, you probably would. There's still plenty of people that have already told me the truth behind that. and I believe him.
Yes.
Also JFK, same thing. Actually, there's a movie coming out. I don't know if you guys know this, Mike. Do you remember the Solozzi Edelson Chevrolet dealerships of the 80s here in Chicagoland?
No, because I wasn't born in the 80s.
Well, they were very, very, very popular, and their commercials ran on WGN all the time. It was two brothers, and they would always have dollar bills in their hand. They would go, Solozzi Edelson Chevrolet, where you always save more money, and they'd flash the money, right? Well, the Solozzi family actually was married into Sam Giancana's family, and Sam Giancana's sister, I believe, was married to one of the Solozzis. Their son, Nick Solozzi, went to Marquette University. The Solozzis, yes, they were connected, but they were, legit family. Nick Solozzi went to Hollywood. And the outfit still had some influence in Hollywood, and he wrote stories about it, right? And he's a Hollywood producer. And he's been developing a story called Assassination that was told to him by his uncle Pepe Giancana. That is the truth behind the CIA and the outfit's involvement in the Kennedy hit. And he hasn't revealed what it is, but since the JFK documents have been released, there's a lot of information out there that points to the fact that this is probably pretty strong
evidence,
right? that there was outfit activity, and this did go down, right? And so they're going to tell that story. David, so he wrote the script with the help of his late uncle's writings, and he workshopped it, and Mamet came in and wrote a draft with him. So David Mamet came in, and then Mamet was going to direct, and then he couldn't do it, and he stepped out, and then Barry Levinson stepped in, and Shia LaBeouf, and there's big stars. But now Levinson is out, and there's a new director in, the guy who directed The Killing Fields. Do you know who I'm talking about? Whatever. Jaffe is his name. Anyway, they're making the movie, and it's finally looking like it's going to come out, and I'm super stoked about it.
Because there are a few, there's a lot of documentaries and stuff around that.
There are. It was a hot topic. It's been a hot topic, the whole
Right.
Kennedy thing forever, right? But there's been a whole amount of accusations about the outfit and the CIA's involvement with that. That sprung about maybe 15 years ago. Hillel Levin was doing a lot of writing about it, who's a Chicago journalist, wrote for Playboy. He had a one-man show about it. He had done heavy research on it, and then people family members who had relatives that were in the outfit started vouching for some of these stories, and were like, yeah, we heard these rumblings for years, and some have even had official documentation maybe in their house of correspondence, letters that they found. It's just crazy stuff. Not anything that deals directly to the assassination per se, but it definitely shows evidence that the CIA knew these guys, no doubt. So I'm pumped to see what happens with this movie and what this tale is going to be. So I encourage our listeners to take a look at it, because I friended on LinkedIn Solozzi, and I was like, hey dude, I'm stoked.
Yeah, I was
going
going
to
to say, shout out LinkedIn.
Right, ringing the bell from LinkedIn. Nick, are you going to be shooting in Chicago? Can you please cast me in this outfit movie? Because it's my dream to be in one of these outfit movies. And please hire Sarah to work on set with us as well. And
I'll be JFK.
oh, I like that. But
We'll take a completely different angle with it.
Well, you're going to get your head blown off, though, which is kind of not fun. Oh, it's a short exit in the movie.
The first 5 minutes gone.
It's a cameo, Anyway, I'm interested to see who the characters are in this story. Who's going to play? Who's somebody going to play Giancana? That's a good part.
When did you say it's coming out?
I presume it just looks like it just got greenlit.
Oh, so it's going to be a while then.
And it was in Variety. It was on a cover story in Variety a day ago. I presume it'd probably be coming out around Christmas time. Well, maybe.
Perfect Christmas movie.
No, I think it's probably, if they go into production in the next couple months, they could probably get it out by February or March if they hustle. Depends if they're I don't know if they're going straight to Netflix or what. Who knows? It's called Assassination. I don't think that cast that they have on IMDb right now is the right cast though. Because originally it's got Pacino and Shia LaBeouf and Viggo Mortensen I think is involved. He might be involved. Anyway, kind of exciting, especially for the people in the area of where I grew up. Elmwood Park, River Forest, Oak Park, like that was Giancana land.
Oh, right. Sorry.
So
Thinking
everybody.
JFK. What?
Yeah, I mean, like people have been talking about that in our neighborhood for the past 40 years, longer, 60 years. And to finally see, somebody who actually has, from the mouth of somebody who was actually involved, who left this to his, nephew Nicholas, and was like, "You can do this after I'm gone. You can make this movie. We'll talk about it, whatever." I think that's rad.
No, it is cool.
It could blow the doors off of a lot of people. Like, that's going to open a lot of conversations. So it'd be interesting.
So add that to your fantasy of when you get upstairs.
Jesus,
Asian Jesus.
Do you think you could cast me an assassination, please?
Well, I was more thinking about you could ask him what actually happened, JFK. Right. But yeah, he could do that too.
Assassination with Nick Slozzi, not with Blow Pop Bomb. They're two different films. But whichever you choose, I'm good with.
Could she play Jackie?
Right, I'll honor it.
Could she play Jackie Kennedy? Blow Pop Mom?
Maybe. You never know.
Stick a wig on her. I wanted to do a shout out. I totally forgot when you were mentioning my sister earlier. It's her birthday today.
It is?
Yeah.
Do you want to say her first name?
No.
Happy birthday, sister of Sarah.
Yes, older sister.
We're very proud of you.
Older sister. Just sticking that knife in there.
Yeah. Well, that's very nice of you.
My adopted mother is what we usually say.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice. Well, yeah, I could see it. She has been very motherly.
100%.
Yeah.
I was a nice surprise. So at that point, Mom was like, just you take her.
Real? Oh, yeah. You were like the Cabbage Patch Kid.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
She told me I was the milkman's.
That would have wreaked havoc.
Blonde
on your
and
brain.
fair, and the rest of them are all sallow skin and dark hair.
Dark hair.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, we're at the end. We burned through it. First episode, just Patty and Sarah. I had a lot of fun.
You feel more relaxed now that we're at the end?
Yeah, I do.
Perfect.
I do want to thank our sponsors, Fox's Pizza, Flood Brothers Disposal, Madden Funds, and Guinness Irish Stout. If you've enjoyed the hour, you can go to hibernianradio.org and find all the archives if you go there, or go to YouTube and search for Hooley's Hooley Show, or find us on iTunes. Until next week.
Slán.
Bye.